I'm Irene Anderson. I'm here at Nuzuna Anaheim Hills, and we are so excited to share the story of one of our fabulous members. As you guys know, October, you may or may not know that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's very, very important to us to raise awareness, but also to raise awareness of how personal um, October and raising money for research and breast cancer awareness is, because these journeys are very personal and they affect many, 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 many people. So we want to introduce our friend Luz. Hi, Luz. Hi. And we just love her. She's a very constant member here at Nuzuna Anaheim Hills, and we're just so excited to hear your story. So, first question: how long have you been working out here?
This October will be 3 years that I've been here.
Ah.
Yes.
And you're here about five or 6 days a week,
Yeah,
right?
5, 6 days a week. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Pretty much every.
yeah, every week.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, we talked, and we're just so blessed that you were willing to share your story with us about your mom's journey, and you've shared a few things with me here and there. And I was really, I've been touched by everything that you've shared. So, I just wanted you to, of course, introduce a little bit more about yourself, and then tell us the journey, your mom's journey.
Well, my name is Luz Noriega, and I've been here at the gym for 3 years. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to rack my brain. Sorry.
You're fine.
So my journey, well, the journey with my mother started. She was diagnosed this January. Actually, it'll be 2 years that she's passed away, and she was diagnosed a year and a half prior to that. So she started with breast cancer, and then it turned into brain. It spread from her breast to her brain, and she went through the whole procedure of having her breast removed and chemo, radiation, and from the time she started her chemo to the radiation, and then when she lost, that was about a year, and then from there, after the year, then she was diagnosed with the brain tumors in her brain, and they did brain surgery, and she lasted 3 months with us after that. So it was a very, very hard journey. My mom was, her name was Victoria Deanda, one of the most amazing, strong women you'll ever meet. And she never complained, never said anything to her. She was just a trooper, and they did brain surgery on her and to remove them, and not one complaint out of her, ever. One of the strongest people I know until this day.
So, what was it? I know, obviously, the whole entire thing was difficult, but even the day to day of taking her to the doctor and taking her to chemo.
Oh, that was really difficult. It was with my sisters. We were a team, which was amazing. We all had our days with her and taking her to her appointments. And after a while, unfortunately, my mom lost her ability to really talk and communicate. So that kind of was, it was pretty much having to do everything for her. And between my other 2 sisters and 3 of us, it was just, we took care of her day and night. And we all had our days with her where we took her to the doctors, her treatments, slept with her. She spent nights with us at my sister's houses or our house, my house. And it was very, very difficult. But at the same time, like I said, she never complained, never said anything. And actually, that's probably the hardest part for us, because not knowing anything that she was really feeling or expressing herself in any way, I think to me was probably one of the hardest things, of not knowing what she was feeling. So I just going through all that with her, and experiencing that with her, I'm telling you, you're never the same after that, for sure. ever.
What is the most powerful lesson you think you learned from your mom? I know you've mentioned even how you grew up and how hardworking your parents were. Through that, your childhood and that entire journey, what's the most powerful and beautiful lesson you've learned from your mom?
That one's kind of easy for me. I
Okay.
mean, they came to this country when my dad came to this country as a bracero, migrant worker, and then soon after that he went back, married my mom and had 4 kids, and then came to this country. And they worked in the fields and very, very hard. Never asked for help. They took care of so many people that would come from Mexico into this country, house them, feed them until they got on their feet. And they did this for years, through my whole childhood. And the most important thing to me, I think I've learned is you work hard. You don't ask for, don't depend on anybody for sure. But just to be, the one thing that my dad always said, this country has given me everything. And he thought he was the American dream. And by no means were they rich, by no means did they have a lot, but he felt like he had it all. And so very humble, and just, to me, I think the biggest inspiration was just, they were just hardworking and big-hearted people. And they always felt like they always had enough. Always.
I love that.
Always had enough. They never needed more than what they had. And they were so proud of all their 6 kids, and that to me is the most important. And they weren't not materialistic people, and like I said, what they had was enough. Their house was like a castle to them. And just awesome people, awesome. And like I said, they helped out so many people. And not being for this country, my dad said, I am the American dream.
Oh, I love that.
And they were inspiration, and both were the same way. Both worked really hard. My mom always worked really hard. She was not a stay-at-home, and having 6 kids, she always worked and fed people, and she did a lot. Both of them together as a team.
And raised some amazing kids.
They did. Everybody's great, and everybody, from not being from this country and just the way they came, I think it is inspirational to do that, and not even knowing the language.
Yeah.
My parents didn't even speak English their whole lives.
Wow. That's
So,
inspiring.
yeah.
And I know I've been inspired by the hard work ethic that you keep telling me that they had.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always an encouragement
Right.
to hear other people's stories, because it inspires you to be and do more.
For sure.
In terms of breast cancer awareness in
Mhm.
October, what would you share? What are things that you've learned, or things that you hope to see in the future, even? Because, the whole point of breast cancer awareness is, part of it is awareness of people's journeys, but it's also awareness to raise money for research so
For
that
sure.
they can make strides and, help people in their journeys, and of course, ultimately with healing.
I think the most important thing, is self-check. Self-examination is, to me, the most important. That's how my mom found her lump. My mom found her lump. And so if it wasn't for her checking and, her breast,
Yeah.
we would have never taken her to the doctors at that point. So self-examination to me is the number one thing. I think sometimes that is even more important than, because we know our bodies. We know what it's supposed to feel like and what's not normal.
Right.
Self-examination is the number one.
Okay.
And of course your mammograms.
Yes.
Every year, consistently, but constantly, self-examination is the number one. Because that's how my mom found hers too. So,
Okay.
And learning, I think what I've learned is you have to be your own advocate. If you don't push something, if you don't ask for it, if you don't consistently want something, it doesn't happen. I think you have to be your advocate and have a team that will fight for you to help you do that too. Because you have to have a voice in, because you will get lost through the cracks, and that's sad. But I think that you have to have a team around you too when you're going through something like that. Because I think having a team and having people that will help you go through that journey is huge. So that's what I learned with my mom, and having my sisters together was amazing. Having that, all of us together as a team going through everything. But one kind of caught, the other one did, and vice versa. So that's what I tell people all the time: have a team behind you to help you, guide you in a lot of that stuff.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And it really is inspiring. And the things that you said, you summarized, self-check, mammograms, and then having a team. Here at Nuzuna Anaheim Hills, we strive to be a team, and we're a family, actually.
Yes, for sure.
That's why, I know our members, we have a lot of compassion for each other, but we inspire and support each other, too.
Yes.
So that's what we're about, but having that team behind you is really important. So if you know anybody who's been part of a journey, reach out and encourage them in the month of October. You guys, it's really important. Just a word, a reminder, anything you could do to encourage them in their journey. I have friends who are going through the journey now. So it's really important to give your support and love during the month of October and actually all year long.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.